Good morning, good morning. Feels great to be back. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. If it is morning for you, oops. Okay, just want to make sure everything was good. My mic was messing up in the beginning. I'm not sure why. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. Please let me know if the music is a little bit too loud. That would be very helpful because I don't want to be, hurting your guys' ears. So just let me know. I'll be checking for that. But yeah, we're kind of getting into today. We know that we have NFP this week, so our focus is going to be earlier on in the week. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be off Thursday, and then Friday is when we'll be looking for a setup to occur for us. Those are the days we have our focus. So again, we always start on the higher time frame. So on the weekly chart, you see we took out this low. We also traded down into this order block over here. I don't like how deep we traded down into this, but from where we are, I'm going to look on the daily time frame, which is up here. We see that we had respect here and we're now up here. I'm again thinking that we're going to come up here and take out some of this liquidity. Now we'll see. Good morning. Thank you. The music is good. Thank you. We'll see that this is the area I think that we're going to start targeting. We do have news at 10 o'clock. I think it's ISM numbers. So we'll be looking at that today to see if we can reach up into that. We do have some SMT, which I'll get into a little bit later. But again, this is where I'm looking to see if price can trade up to. I see this fair value gap here. I'm believing that we're going to trade higher. I'm looking at the bodies here on the 1 hour chart. So again, higher prices is what I'm initially looking for. See if we can kind of get these highs up here. I believe they left them just so clear, but we'll see. We do have this daily. This would be a reclaim fair value gap because we're below it, but I'm expecting us to see if we can seek some buy side here. We do have some SMT here. Just want to note this out. So not only do we have SMT down here at the lows, so you see that SMT there, which is a signal that we like to see in our trades and in our charts to let us know that the big boys are in play. So we also have SMT here as well. So that's also something I'm noting and something I'm looking at. Today, I don't think that we have a problem with the opening range gap. I just want to make sure. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I don't know why this thing keeps flickering. Let me know if it's doing that on your charts too. I'm not sure why it keeps, when I change it, it looks like it's like blinking. No, okay, guess it's fine. Guess it's just me. So I don't think we have a problem in terms of a time stop waiting till 10 o'clock, but I'm probably most likely going to be looking for that unless something is very, very clear. So I just want to make sure that we have this on the low just so I can see where price is and how far away it is, because that lets me know. Okay, so the low is down here. Again, if we're less than 40 handles, which we're way above that, so it had to be pretty much get down there, which I would not be expecting. So again, no time stop. We just know that we have news at 10 ISM numbers. So we'll see what we get here. Again, I'm looking at potential upside just to come clean out those highs. Now what we're gonna do here is put and mark out our buy side, our clear buy side, which I'm gonna do this one, is buy side liquidity here. There's also buy side here as well, which they have just left. Lovely is there. And then now we will also note our sell side. Remember, we have SMT there. We do have SMT down here. Again, I'm looking for buy side to get taken out, but that doesn't mean that that's exactly what we're gonna get today. And then here's for me where I think the major sell sides are there. So this is the buy side. This would be sell side. And so I just want to make sure we have that. So we're going to note out some key levels for us. So let's go on the hourly chart, see what we see here. So on the hourly chart, again, I see this fair value gap here that I would expect price to hold. If it's going to trade down into it, that is what I would expect price to use and hold. And I like to see what we have on, again, the lower time frames, and that helps me get an indication or understand what we could potentially be looking for in terms of higher prices. I do like that. We do know that we have this gap up here. I just want to make sure that that's also, no, that's fine. I don't need to note that. The buy side liquidity is what we're looking for. See if we can trade up into that. And yeah, we do have a new week opening gap, which is pretty much right below this, so we could tap into that, and we'll see if we'll get that, and we could potentially be looking for higher prices there. Just attack this. I don't think we're going to go up and start attacking the all-time highs, but I do see like we're back up here again, which to me is just not indicative of lower prices, especially with SMT down here and the way that they have left this. But again, I could be wrong, and if that is the case and we start to see framework setting up for the downside, we know that sell side's here and sell side's there, but I'm looking for higher. That's pretty much what we have for today. So again, this is the hourly chart. I mean, this is the 15-minute chart. Notice how the body stayed inside of this fair value gap, which is nice. And so we did have this. I would have liked this better if it would have closed above this down close candle a little bit more convincingly. Then I would have liked that a lot more. Also, you see here on the 5-minute chart, on top of this order block here, you see a breaker there, and notice how we have a fair value gap there, and also we have a fair value gap here that overlaps with all of this. So again, looking for higher prices, but again, would like for it to go trade a little bit lower and see if it can offer us a setup. I almost forgot to put on the buy and sell, so this is way too much. So again, you know, I'm starting my funded journey through Apex. So I have a new 150K account. I'm not gonna put this up because I think it shows my account number and stuff, so I'm not gonna be doing that. But yeah, so it is this isn't demo. I guess it technically is demo, but it's not a demo through TradingView. It is a live account or a demo account through Apex funded trading. So that's essentially what we're looking for today. We'll see if what we're looking for. Something that you guys will notice, and just so you guys are aware, let me just show you. So if I were to do like create an order, so here you'll see the TP and the stop loss, but when I actually hit the buy button or sell button, whatever it ends up being, you're not gonna see the P&L. You'll just see 8. You'll just see the amount of contracts it has. Just that might be something that's a little bit confusing to you, because when I first started doing this, that was very, very confusing to me. Unless they changed it, which I haven't seen that, you're not gonna see the take profit and the what I would lose in the trade. Technically, you won't see that anymore. You'll just see 8 contracts, and then it'll just that's just what happens. So why, I don't know, but I just want to make sure you guys know that when you see that, because that was very confusing for me when I first started, and I was like, why can't I see this? I couldn't even, yeah, it was very interesting when I first started, and I didn't know how much I was risking in a trade, which was awful, but that's kind of what happened. So again, we know we have this 15-minute order block. Here's a 5-minute breaker with the fair value gap, and you can see the same thing, very similar here. We also have an inverse fair value gap here. Look where it trades down into. So we have an inverse fair value gap here, inside of this breaker, with the coupling of a 15-minute order block, which we can kind of put on there actually now. So we have a 15-minute order block here, and this is like the key signature that I like seeing in my trades. I like seeing a 15-minute overlap with a 5-minute, which then overlaps with the 1-minute. That's like the most powerful trades that I like being in, where I feel comfortable putting the trade on, is when I look like this. One of the trades where it tends to be less favorable in terms of my opinion when there's only 2 of them. Like, so let's say the 15-minute hasn't necessarily confirmed yet, but the 5-minute and the 1-minute are confirmed. That to me it's still favorable, but it's not as favorable as if you have a 15, a 5, and a 1. So like if this was during, let's say this was during the time that I looked to trade and I saw this with this, and this, I would feel comfortable in this trade and I would just buy it here. In this breaker, stop loss would be probably right here. I'd probably put my stop loss right there just because of where it is in terms of this order block, and we've already hit the middle of it. Not saying that we can't hit the middle of it again, but we've already hit that. So for me, down there would be good if this was during the right time, and I would expect this gap to hold. But since we're ahead of 9:30, I don't take those trades. And I also understand we have ISM. So if nothing is clear to me before ISM at 10 o'clock, that's what I'll be waiting for. Yeah, ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. Again, looking for higher prices, but it doesn't mean that that's what we're going to get today. I'm okay with being wrong with the direction, at least for my initial bias. I'm okay with that being wrong, and then I pretty much will assess that after kind of whatever we're getting and what we're looking for. So yeah, if anyone ever has any questions that they would like to ask, I will answer them, as long as obviously I'm not focused on a trade or there's something that's drawing my attention. But other than that, if you have questions about anything, it doesn't matter. You know, if I say something and you don't understand what it is, just ask the question and I'll do my best to explain it to you. So remember, we do have this 1 hour fair value gap, which it is possible for us to trade down into. That's okay. And then if it does trade down there, we want to see immediate response and reaction from it. So usually on my charts, you'll see like all these levels and stuff. Let's go back to the daily chart just so we know where we're at. So looking at these bodies, I like the way the bodies had respected down here and how we expanded away aggressively. Now we do have this fair value gap right here, which I think I'll put here. I think I'll put a line there. And I'm gonna make it real thin. And I'll make it black and just put H1 discount FVG. So that's a discount end of the fair value gap. Put it there. Just so we know where that is. Because let's say we trade up into there first and we start rejecting immediately. Then this obviously is clear as sell side down there, but I'm expecting us for that not to happen. That's my expectation. I'm not trying to play both ways. I want to see us trade higher and attack this, but if we fail to do that, then I mean, there's no other. It's gonna trade lower. Like there's no other option. I mean, I guess it could consolidate, but would not be expecting that today. So just want to go back to the 15-minute chart. So these are the levels that I pretty much see that mean something to me right now. And that's what I'll use to see if we can take a trade and trade up to there and even beyond. Remember, I only look for 50 handles. That's what I'm looking for. My goals for the week are, I wanna say, because when I get funded, I'll be looking for $2,000 a week. And once I get that, I stop. For the funded account, it's kind of, I'm trying to see if I'll do 3K. I think I'll still keep it around 2K. So which means that if you know everything goes well and I can accomplish that, by the end of this month I should have passed this account, because that would be no, I would not have passed the account. It would need to be, I guess, 5 weeks, because I have to make 9K on this account without losing like $5,000 or something like that. I think that's the qualifications for this account. So we'll see. I am expecting a large range today. I'm expecting some nice price action, but we'll see what we get. The market opens in about 6 minutes or so. So just have to be patient and have to wait for the things we want to see. I did change this to black because it was just so light all the time, and it just was a little bit too bright for me. I think sometimes even on the stream it was doing that as well, so I did kind of change that. I need to change this to March. How was everyone's weekend? Did you guys do anything fun or interesting? Remember, something that I do in my trades, what I wait for is the first presented fair value gap. That is something that I specifically wait for because I think that it gives me an indication of what I could be looking for. Again, we could end up going lower today. That's fine. I'm just wanting to see these get hit. These right here. These highs. That's what I'm looking for to get hit. But if we're not getting that, then I'm not just going to buy just because I told you guys that I think it's going to go higher. I'm okay with submitting to whatever it's going to be doing if it goes lower. But I want to see it trade higher. And even if it was going to go lower, ideally I would want to see a trade up here. But if it cannot trade up here and these wicks resist price and trading higher, then that's showing significant weakness, and we're gonna go a lot lower than there. That's my thought process and opinion. Just looking at this, just need to make sure. Yeah, as long as we don't get down here, pretty much, we're golden. We have what, about 4 minutes left, so we'll be good there. Yeah, just have to make sure that my trade evade and everything is on, because it'd be a shame if I took a trade accidentally on the wrong account, because that would be that would be a mistake. Win or loss wouldn't matter. It'd be a mistake. And we want to try to limit those types of mistakes in trading. It's not necessary. Like a loss is not a mistake unless you're over leveraging in the trade. That's 100% mistake. Or you're doing something that you should not be doing in a trade. That is a mistake. But a loss is not a mistake. I used to look at losses as it was a mistake, and I have to avoid those. And every time you do that, you are making your trading harder, and you'll never reach profitability because you're trying to avoid things that happen naturally in trading. Like losses are a natural process of trading. You don't just never lose, but sometimes we think that, we feel that we should never lose, and that's just not the case. It's never the case. So, got about 2 minutes till the market opens. Again, here's an hourly fair value gap that we're looking at. We do have SMT up here. Nothing up top here in terms of larger time frame on SMT. Let's just go to the hourly chart just to make sure we don't see anything. So this technically is above here. So we have SMT in terms of this high and this high. We do have that up there. But again, look how close we are up to here. I'm just thinking that's an area that we can reach for and reach up to. But and look at here, we have we have Dow that of course is again defying all odds like it has been doing the last 3 or 4 weeks. I would say 3 or 4 days, trading days, it has been doing whatever it wants. So our eyes are most likely are more looking at these two, but if we're seeing this go higher and these drop, I'm more in favor of these dropping than this actually going higher. And that's how I navigate the days when I'm looking at SMT or trying to figure out which one of these I should be, which direction I should go, if it's in my favor or if I'm going against my bias, my initial bias. But again, we're looking for upside. Here's the 1 hour discount fair value gap, which we were talking about. We'll see if we can trade down to here into this hourly fair value gap. Let me show you that again. Oops, on the wrong chart. It's a 5 minute. Show you again. This is the hourly fair value gap. If it is in fact bullish, we should be looking for this to hold price, and it should trade higher if it's able to trade down. down here, we should reject here and trade up to here if we're bullish. If we're bearish, we'll run right through this, close deep down into this, and then we should start seeing responses from, oh, it's 9:30 now, so we can go in there, but you should start seeing responses from these levels essentially. Okay, so let me just do this. I just want to see how far it actually is away. So let's see what we got here. This is a 154, so that's a nice opening gap range. We usually like to see it, I mean, more than 50 is really good. That's something that we're specifically looking for in price. I don't think that will trade down to here, but it doesn't mean that we can't. 927.25. There we go. So now that that's in place, that's helpful for us. Why does that do that? I don't know. Sorry. I'm looking at my other charts. And so we traded down into the 1 hour fair value gap. Let's see what we get here. We want to see a nice reaction away from here that lets us know that we're looking for higher prices. That's exactly what we want to see. We don't want to see us just holding down there and waiting. We want to see this actually happen and then start to move higher and move away. That'll give us indication that we're in fact looking for higher prices. This would be a 15-minute propulsion block right here, which we would have just hit. So that's what we're looking for. It's exactly we'll look at the bodies of the candles. That's what we want to see. And we hit the top of the new week, new week opening gap from January 12th. So again, that's something that is favorable for us. So again, we want to see a rejection here. We don't want to see us, and if we can close above this, that's a breaker here. I would love that, and I would probably take it before ISM at 10 o'clock. That would be my thought process, especially if we can have more than, we're more than 50 handles away from that. So any type of fair value gap, get over here, and as long as the first presented fair value gap gets created, it cannot get created until 9:31, which is what we have right here. So that's looking like that'll be the first presented fair value gap, and as long as we can create a scenario where that makes sense, where we can create a fair value gap, I would be expecting us to trade up to there. I would take a trade up there, as long as it doesn't just run right away, but that would be the scenario for me. So we have about 2 minutes left. So this right here, if we can get this before obviously just running straight up there, which it looks like we're doing, that's fine though. But this is a 5-minute order block. So if we can trade down into that, I guess, without kind of running all the way up there right now, because where we are right now, I have no interest in that currently. No interest. So would want to see us in the next 1.5 minutes hold this. If we can do that, then I would take a trade pretty early. I just want to kind of see what would okay, that's way more. So I would need roughly right there. So I'm kind of waiting and being a little bit more patient than I normally would. And why is I want to see us close above that. Normally I would take this trade right here, right now. But I want to see us where we're going to close. But normally, yes, this right here would have been the trade entry. But I want to see it kind of close above that and then trade down. So that's kind of what I was, a little bit waiting for. Just so you can understand what the thought process of what I have and what I think is going to go, what's happening. See, I would have liked it to close up a little bit above that. Not saying that it's not possible to do that. That's just what I would have wanted to see. But I do believe this is a viable trade option. Now, if we could trade a little bit lower into this, which we may not be able to, that's what I'd be looking for. Just being patient right here. I don't like the shallow. I don't like the shallow close above that. That's why I'm really waiting for this, and that's why I didn't take the trade, because if you see that, would have been stopped out pretty much almost immediately. So yeah, glad I waited for that, and I explained why I didn't necessarily like it that much and why I didn't take the trade. So very happy about that, to be very honest with you guys. I'm happy I did not take that trade because it would have stopped me out, as you clearly see. I want to see a little bit more where there's like clear closure above on the 5-minute chart, where like this isn't just very shallow. It'd have been better if it was up here and had created a fair value gap. I would have liked that better. Doesn't mean that it can't come down here, it can't do certain things. I just want to see specific things in my trade. I just don't want to buy it just to get in. Even though this is the first presented fair value gap, we like that. That's a deep retracement. Doesn't mean that it still can't come up a little bit higher. We do have SMT right here, actually, between this low and here, and ES. There is SMT. Inside of a higher time frame, level. So just watching that. And again, we have ES, so we have Dow, the problem child is what I call it, doing whatever it wants. A little bit of consolidation. We do have ISM, remember, at 10 o'clock, so I'm not in a rush to get in. Not in a rush to get in, not in a rush trying to be right. Just want to see clear things happen. And once those clear things happen, we can join. We can join the party, but right now the party can go on without us. Trust me, I'm extremely happy I did not take this trade. Like, I'm just letting you guys know that right now. It didn't, like, look on the 15-minute chart, right? Look how we went up, and look at this wick. Also look at the 5-minute chart. We barely closed above it. Like, we weren't getting signatures that I wanted to see in price. And I'm not about that life, trying to predict. I just want to see it do certain things. And then I'm okay with responding once I see specific things happening in price. We also have SMT up here, which I'm favoring a little bit more right now. I'm favoring this a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more right now because of the weakness in ES. So that's actually what I'm favoring a little bit. If we can just make sure, see where we're at in terms of how the distance we are. Yeah, way more than enough. Oops. Oh, I forgot how to do this. What does it say? F11? Where even is that? There we go. Okay. I always do that somehow on the stream, where I do things where I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. So, my ideal scenario, right? This is what I would love. Not to just start trading down and ripping down lower. I don't want to see that. What I would love to see us do is create a 5-minute fair value gap over top of this. Because right now I'm thinking that my bias was incorrect. That's what I'm thinking and what I'm looking at right now. The bias is incorrect. I like this gap, but I want to see a 5-minute gap overlap with this gap. If that's the case, then I'd take a short, and I would aim for this low. If we can do that, that's what I would like to see. Because I'm not as confident in this right now. If I was extremely confident, I would take it. As soon as it runs up into here, I would take it. I want to kind of see us kind of go a little bit lower and kind of hold this, and then use this later to then trade down to this low, which you see here. That's what I would want to see. So if we can do that and overlap, because we have about 4 minutes, as long as we don't just, run all the way down here, then that negates this at all, this whole thing. And if that is the case, I just want to make sure, because I need to see how much that actually would be. It's a large stop loss. I would try to see if actually, I don't want to hit sell. I would mess it up a little bit. I'd want to actually see if we can hold it, and I would actually trade this. I'd be okay with this. But we need to create a 5-minute fair value gap as well. If we can't do that, or if we hit down there before, then that negates everything that I tell you right now, or I'm telling you right now. So I don't want to just see it just melt personally. Because if it does that, then obviously there's no trade. So we're about 3 minutes. We're just waiting. Patiently waiting. But I want to see it trade a little bit deeper into the gap. That's why I have it a little bit higher than I normally would. But that would be the thought process of the trade if it can pan out in the next 2 minutes or so. I'm putting it up above here because I believe that this should not get traded to. So that's what I'm thinking. We did trade into the new week opening gap from today. And again, if the 5-minute chart just kind of runs through that, then that's kind of what happens. But this is what we're looking for. I mean, ideally, this is the low that we're looking for. I just want to 50 handles would be roughly right there from entry to exit. So we have about 1 minute and 50 seconds left. As long as it doesn't go take out that low, we're good. If it starts to take out that low or be very, very close to it, it's just, I'm not interested in it. Then we'll have to reassess, what we're looking at and what is potentially going to happen here. I'm only willing to take it if it comes up in here. If it's going to happen prior to 10 o'clock, that's what I'm looking for. But anything less than that, I'm not in this trade. I'm not going to look for it. So we have 1 minute left. Yep, so this is the trade setup if it can offer that. On the 5-minute chart, again, I still like this if it's able to do that. I mean, obviously if it comes up here and then screams lower, then that's what happens. So about 10 seconds left. I'm gonna hit sell once it, in about 2 seconds. Okay, so that's my trade setup there. So if it can trade up to there, 50 handles is there. That would be what I would be looking for. If it hits down here first, I close this entire trade. It's not an option for me. That's the criteria, because it needs to come up first. I'm not selling that all the way up there. So if we can do that, then that's what I'll look for. If not, then there's no trade. This shouldn't be on all of them, by the way. It should not be there. It should not be there. This should not be there. So as long as it can trade up to there, that would be my trade setup. And then 50 handles, you see where that is. I'm okay with $500 risk there. And you know, if it goes up that high and goes up that deep, then you know, I'm just wrong, and that's fine. But we did hit the consequent encroachment of the new day opening, the range. So I do see that. I did change up the way I kind of do some things now, so I can see that. So now we're almost inside of the gap here. And so I want to see if we can trade a little bit deeper into that and then trade a little bit softer. And I would ideally like to see this happen before 10 o'clock, like to be into the entry before 10 o'clock. If that's not the case, then, you know, probably have to look to start closing the trade. And this is looking for a little bit more of a, I will say, precision entry. Ideally, you just kind of want to get the low end of it, like right there. But I'm looking for a little bit deeper retracement. We'll see if we can get that up into that. And if that's the case, then we'll be in the trade. Could have missed it there, but that's where I'm expecting my entry to be. If we can get that. The way ES is looking, I'm not actually really liking this that much, but it doesn't mean that it can't set up there. Again, could have missed the entry by a couple ticks. And if that's the case, that's okay. You know, had direction, had what we're looking for, but we'll see. Normally I put it right here, right there, but I want to see if we could get a little bit deeper. We missed the sell entry by by 2.5 ticks. That's what we missed the sell entry by. I could be aggressive and sell it there. I'm gonna wait. Maybe could, yeah, this inverse of this. I would have liked to see it get in there, because that to me is a way better entry than down here. So you see that? Yep. So I believe that's where the target is. We just missed it by 2.5 ticks. We missed it. So I think that this is, I mean, ideally going to just be targeting down there. I think that's the easy clear draw. We just missed it by 2.5 ticks. So trying to see like what to pretty much do right here, because that kind of did what we were looking for. Had to be a little bit more patient here. We do have news. We do have the macro in about 10 minutes. So we'll see. I mean, this could have been the second entry. I'm just trying to figure out. See, we've already hit 50 handles. We've been 82 and hit in close proximity. That's what we would be looking for. I'm gonna see. How I want to handle this. I just don't. If we can trade up into that gap, I'd probably take it. But yeah, I just don't think that it's gonna get all the way up there, because that's more than enough for me to take a trade off of. But we missed it by 2.5. That's a little upsetting. But we'll see here. Well, I'm gonna take this trade off because it's not liking that. So I'm gonna wait until 10. I said I would take a trade here if it did that and trade lower, but I'm gonna wait. Right now, mentally, I guess, so you guys can kind of see and understand what's going on. I'm trying to relax myself, because the entry that I should have done, I wanted a little bit more precision, was there. And so I'm trying to not make sure I don't rush in and do something that I'm going to regret later. So that's why I'm being a little bit more patient, whereas if I didn't believe in this one and I saw this one, I would take this one. So I'm just trying to be calm right now, so, and not get angry or be frustrated. So that's what's going on in my mind at this moment. So we do have news at 10, so it's okay. This should also reject the price here. That should hold price lower, and it should attack that low, which we were looking at and talking about. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I wanted to see it trade up a little bit higher. It just didn't. It didn't do it. So, and this is a breaker, just for you guys know. That setup there over top of this 1 hour. That's why I liked it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna wait till 10. It may not even give us anything at 10 o'clock either. So yeah, just recollecting myself after watching what's happened. Yeah, because if we don't get anything in the morning, I will trade the afternoon session if I don't get anything here, and see if there's anything that sets up that's very similar. I mean, this is really close to this low. I'm I'm sure we spiked down there and hit that low. It's very clear and obvious that that's where it wanted to go. In the morning it wasn't, and then it, you know, showed itself to me, and so that was the setup there. Just a missed opportunity, didn't trade up high enough. I mean, if I would have entered there, 6 handles of drawdown, so not that much in the grand scheme of things. But these happen every day, so it is what it is. So I will still take a screenshot of this, even though I was not able to participate. There we go. So we saw that get ran through. This happened before 10 o'clock. So before the news, which is what I wanted to see happen, just weren't able to be involved. You know, this was a great trade setup, the second one, which I saw right at the news, or right before the news, but just where my mind was, I didn't want to take it. So yeah, it offered 90, 91. So first trade setup is there, second one is there. But just where I was mentally, I couldn't take the trade, so I didn't. So I think, yep, down here, the sell side, which I was talking about here, which is obvious. It didn't go up there. That's where we'll be going towards. So we're doing all this ahead of 10 o'clock. So, which is interesting. But we'll wait. We'll probably wait until, I have to wait a little bit longer now. Probably till 10:30 and see if anything gets sets up then. Not gonna lie, pretty frustrated about this. But we'll see. We'll see what we get after 10 o'clock, the ISM numbers. The only reason why I'm a little bit upset because that was literally like $2,000. That was $2,000. So, but it is what it is. So we'll see what we get after 10 o'clock, which is about 2 minutes. So we'll see if a setup forms then. We have about a minute left. Very hesitant to take another short lower. I do like this candle here, which overlaps with this fair value gap specifically. So this one, that's the one I like. So here's 10 o'clock, just scream lower. Yeah, just have to be patient here. I don't want to chase this lower right now. So this is, the SMT is gone. It's the SMT that's now, it's up there. That's the one that's obvious. We just have to be very patient. I'm not selling it down here. It's not high probability. It's high probably up here and there before, but now that we're down in here, not really. We are down into this, down here, this order block breaker on the hourly chart. So we could see some higher prices here, but we'll see. We have to get some type of reaction from here. Can't just let me go on the hourly chart here and show that. Plus order block. This is the hourly. I guess we didn't even hit it, or if we did, we hit it to the T. So that's what this is. Hourly order block. Wait, why does it do that? Propulsion block there. We had sell side there. We could end up becoming up a little bit higher. It just needs to start showing some type of response, a wave, if that's actually going to happen. If not, then, you know, there's nothing that we can do there. So I'll just hide these. Just have to be patient here. So there's a 5-minute fair value gap here that I don't know if we've traded into it yet. Might have equal highs there. I don't think we traded into it yet. No. So we have equal highs there. So we may not even trade up to this one. This one looks more favorable. And yeah, I just need to see something clear in order for me to take anything. Right now, a lot has already happened in terms of the downside. This was clear, that was clear. Just couldn't take this one after missing this one. So again, up here I was looking for precision elements. It just didn't trade high enough. So that's just a mistake on my part. Tried to be too perfect. What I don't want to do is get caught up in choppy sideways movement. I don't want to get caught up in that. So need to see specific elements, and then I'd be willing to do certain things, but until then there's really nothing I can do about it right now. Nothing I can do. So right now we're trading up into that 5-minute fair value gap. Now if we get a response from there, then there's something that I can do. But need to see that response from there. Then I would like this as a down close candle. But for some reason I don't think that that's what we're gonna get. I'm thinking that we're gonna get some type of bullishness now. We may start to target up here. Or we're kind of hitting into this breaker with the SMT at the top, so that could be a potential scenario for us, but just have to kind of see what we get here, because we're unable to close it in, which is nice. And then we have to show some type of movement away. Then I could use this. I can click on this, use this as a bearish order block that's near this low, and then see if we can get another run below this low. But this needs to be convincing enough for me to do that. That's the only way for me to take that. Now if we can trade up, I like this a little bit. If we can trade back up into it, as long as we don't go too far away, I'll sell it on a market, as long as it doesn't just run away. So I wanted to see us hit up here first, and then I would take the trade, but it did not do that, so not taking this trade now. It can still go lower. I didn't want to see that. I don't want to get chopped up right now. What I would like I'm watching this down close candle. We have 3 minutes left. I'm watching this. If it can be formed, that's what I'm watching. And if we can create gaps, fair value gaps over top of it and show displacement and not just shallow runs up, then, you know, I'm willing to take something. But without that and that signature, I'm not willing to do anything at the moment. Again, we do have another 15-minute candle happening in about 2 minutes, so I'm also not in a rush to get into a trade. We could potentially see us trade back up into this. This right here, which is a 15-minute fair value gap. So that could be the next thing in order. Oops. For us to trade lower, so I'm okay with waiting the 2 minute. Oops, this can go because that's already been hit. I guess we can just make it a little bit lighter. So going up above here, turtle swooping into this little fair value gap here. We have the 5-minute fair value gap, which is here as well. So I'm gonna remove this order block. And I'd like to see if we can kind of trade up into this, some type of turtle swoop, movement away, and then to attack this low here, if that's possible. That would be the next thing that I would be looking for to happen in about 1 minute for us to trade up there and then reject. May not be able to even do that. About 30 seconds. That also would overlap with the new week opening gap low, the current new week opening gap low. We did hit the low end of the opening range gap, so we may not even get that. We could end up leaving that open, and again end up using this here in this low as an order block. We'll see what we get here, because I think this is now kind of telling a little bit. And so as long as we can show a willingness to close below here aggressively, That's a potential. We do have this. Yeah, this is too much. Hold on. So you see we do have this volume imbalance here that could be enough to hold price. I want to see us close below this. I don't want to see us continue to keep dipping back up. That's not it's not a good trade. If that's what keeps happening right now. We're below sell side, so I'm not trying to like rush anything right now. I'm trying to be patient and see and recognize and notice what I'm used to seeing in price, so I don't want to see. I'm not going to take trades where I don't recognize, where it's very unclear. I'm not gonna do that. Remember, we need to see excitement in our trades, not just sleepiness. So without excitement in the trade, there's nothing for us to do. See up here, this is excitement. None of this down here is exciting. It's just chopping. I'm not trying to pray and hope I'm right. Like, I just want to see us do something that is in alignment with what I'm used to seeing in price, and then I'll take a trade. See, we hit the 5-minute order block again. I wouldn't be surprised if we're kind of holding here and then snap down below this low without giving a fair value gap or anything. That wouldn't surprise me. Just looking for excitement. See, it just keeps shallow. It keeps going underneath and then it's closing right back up. Right? That's not. This would be a very, even if it ends up going down here, this would be a very frustrating trade because it's coming below and it comes back up. It's coming below and comes back up. Coming below, coming back up. That is, one, it's telling me to wait. What is it, 1019? Just consolidating right now. That's what this is. It's already ran to a level of liquidity. Now it's kind of consolidating and chopping back and forth. Yeah. So we have this volume imbalance there. Pretty much at 10, it just shot down immediately. Over top of that, we had like this order block there. And now we're just kind of consolidating. So we're inside the middle of it, pretty much of this. So we'll see what happens when we get up to this this level right here. That's what I kind of want to see, because this was showing no willingness. We're gonna take this off too. No willingness to show anything lower. I want to see what happens when we get above this high, because that's the 15-minute breaker there with this fair value gap. That's what I'll be waiting for. And if we can reject, then this offers us way more than enough range to see if we can potentially get down here. Again, it could also go higher, so I'm just kind of being very patient right now, because I don't like what we're seeing right now, but I'm willing to see what happens here. This is interesting above this. I do like that. This also overlaps with a 5-minute order block. Where is it? Here. That overlaps. But I want to see how we're trading up inside of that. And the high of it, the high of the order block is actually right here. So we have 2 minutes left. So I'm watching to see what we're getting here. My thought process is we came down here, we bought this to go up higher. That's actually what I'm thinking more now than looking to short. But I need to see that seen in price action. You can't just think that that's gonna happen. I need to see support of my idea. This might look better on a 2-minute chart. I think I like this. So we're trading up into that. How much is on the 5-minute candle? 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So that's my trade setup. I like that. We'll see if that's possible for us to trade down into that. Not risking that much. Okay. And we'll see if that if this can get us a setup here. Again, could be getting faked out, but we'll see. I like the 5-minute order block after hitting the hourly. But yeah, we'll see. this one might become a breakaway gap. I wouldn't want to see that, but it does have the potential to become a breakaway gap, which means that it won't get traded to, which means it'll just trade higher and leave this open. Hopefully we can get a retracement back down, but if not, then I guess we don't. Looks like it's going to be a breakaway gap. So the only other option I have is to, which we may not even get, is here. And any fair value gap or retracement back down into this, that looks like that's going to be the better option. Again, we missed it by a couple ticks again. But we'll see what we can get here pretty much. So if we can create a fair value gap there, here, and it can trade down into this before like screaming all the way up here, that to me is a trade setup that I'm willing to take. But you know, it has to do that. But I don't know if we're gonna get that, to be honest. Might not get that. But I will take that. I'll put my stop loss right there as long as we can create a fair value gap there. I'd be willing to take that. I don't think we'll get that one either. So when I said I missed my entry, just like I missed this one down here too, I'm basically saying that I had my entry right here. Like, this is a spot to get in, right? Mine, like where I wanted to enter, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get this one either, unfortunately. It's just not my day, I guess. So what I mean by that is, why can I not find it? Style. This red line would be where I'm looking to enter. And this is as high as it went up. So I missed this one. I missed this one. So pretty much it just means that where I was looking to enter in, it didn't offer that to me. So I wasn't able to partake in essentially any of this. So the only next thing that I see here now, again, I'm just looking at PD arrays at this point. It's just not giving it to me. So the next trade setup will be here when it closes, essentially. If it can close there, that's where my trade setup is. And it's below here, so as long as it doesn't, this would be this would pretty much be the trade setup if it can literally trade down to there, this gap. That's what a trade setup will be if it can do that. But yeah, so like this red line would be where I was looking to enter, and it fell short, so which means that it didn't trade up high enough for me to get into the trade. So we'll see what we get here. So I believe my stop is in an area where it shouldn't get. That's in a safe area, and I'm looking for us to trade up to there. I think that we should take out this. That's what I believe we should be looking to take out. Doesn't mean that that's what we're going to get, but that's what I'm looking for, to see if we can get that. Why this is a breaker, we created a gap above this. I'm expecting this to hold. I see this clear high right there. We have a 1 hour fair value gap right there. I'm expecting us to do that. We may or may not get that, you know. I believe my stop is in a place where it's fine, and at the end of the day, whatever happens is what's gonna happen anyways. I like the support though. I like seeing, as of right now, and then we'll see if it continues to hold. I like this. I like where the bodies are being held right now. What I don't want to see is us create a 5-minute fair value gap here. Well, it looks like I might get stopped out here. That's what I don't want to see. It could come down back to the initial entry. I just like this right here and what we were getting there, but we'll see here. Might get stopped out here. Yeah, probably gonna get stopped out just from where it is. Yep. So I got stopped for $500 pretty much. So not a great day for me personally. You know, this was a level that I was also looking at for it to trade to, but yeah, just wasn't able to get my fills and my entries, and I do think that we're gonna end up coming back up here personally. I think that was immediate rebalance, just where my stop loss was. Might have been a little bit too tight, but yeah, kind of a little frustrated with today, if I'm gonna be honest, because I mean, I do think it just came down, kind of stopped me out, and then it's gonna come up here. That's my thought process based off where the bodies and the wicks are. There's no other P array here. That makes sense. But yeah, just not a fun day, to be honest. Just watching here. So this was the other area that I was looking for a price to get into. The first area.
So this is where I was first looking for an entry for it to get in, like the first one. I don't think that this is gonna hold. I don't think so. It could. But I'm thinking this is more probably likely. I mean, it's a 5-minute fair value gap there as well, which overlaps, which is maybe I was a little bit too high up in the swing. To me, I think this is more going to go lower and attack this low again, based off of what we're looking at right here. Or not. Now it's going to go attack here now. This right here is an order block.
That's a nice reaction on a 5-minute chart from also with the closing the upper portion and how we traded down there. That is nice. From trading into that gap. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream. I'll be on tomorrow, same time, 9:10. I appreciate everyone for being here. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.